Hi, welcome to the Momsbeingmomspodcast, where we swap our weekly mom moments, wins, and fails, then cover stories of moms being moms. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm Jessica.
I'm Sam.
I'm Whitney.
And let's mom it out. All right, guys, we just got done surviving spring break, so excuse us if we seem exhausted, because I know I am.
Amen. Every day last week there was just something.
For real, it was so rough. I thought I had allergies. It was actually a cold. And then my monthly visitor came. So it was just fatigue upon fatigue with kids. So I was just so tired. And I felt really bad because I feel like my kids got a lot of screen time last week. Like we usually do, like reading. Yeah, right? Let's learn nothing. We usually do like reading, writing, math. Like I usually have a workbook for them. And we did it like once or twice.
Better than me.
I mean, we did
a lot of playgrounds. I was very good about going out to playgrounds. But my sister was also in town, so I was like at my mom's. And then we decided randomly to break out in hives every other day, randomly. No. And I was like, cool, I guess I have to take you to the doctors for this, because this is random.
Did they figure it out?
No.
Oh,
she was like, it could be food, but probably not because of where it's happening and how it's so random. Or she's like, it could be from a virus. Has he been sick? And I was like, not really. I was like, he's had a runny nose, but I just figured it was pollen, because pollen's crazy right now.
My oldest always did
Or
that.
She's like, it could just be something random and we'll never figure it out. And I was like,
yeah.
Good, as long as it's not life-threatening, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just give him Zyrtec, and he hasn't had them in a couple days, so hopefully it stays that way.
Oh, poor baby.
But that happened on like the one day I had off, and not something to do. And I was like, of course.
Going to the doctor.
Here we go. And I had to go all the way to the other location, not the one that's right in here.
Of course.
The one that's far away.
Don't plan a day off. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But so overall, I feel like it was not a great spring break. But my mom win this week was, Sunday, my daughter won her soccer game, which was great. I can't take any credit for that, but she won. She's really upset with you, though, for not coming, Sam, because she only scores when you come. So she's Sam and Wyatt are coming to the next one, right? But she played half the game on defense and did amazing, so she's fine.
Good.
But that's on my own. I didn't do anything to cause that. Technically, I didn't even cause my mom win. So Saturday, my son had his first soccer game. So he was playing t-ball. Now he's doing soccer. We got the guilt trip of, you coached my sister, so you're going to coach me, right? So we're coaching, and I was so nervous. I was like, you 6 boys. Oh, God. I made Bobby be the head coach. I'm like, you're taking charge. I'm team manager status this year.
Yeah.
We looked so good. It was stupid. For you 6 boys. They, with the girls, it was the first half of the season's don't touch your friends, get away from your friends, stop clustering. Our boys, they would recognize when they were close to each other and then literally spread out and put their hands up and wave and sit, call for a pass. It was so crazy.
Beginner fluke.
A fluke. I don't know. We just get blessed with these good kids. On the sideline, they just sat there and literally were cheering on their team. Because we had 4 on the sideline and 3 on the field. So I was worried about that.
Yeah, we can't even get you 10 to do that.
Exactly. I was like, oh my gosh, look at these little kids just sitting here cheering on their team. It was so
You mean they weren't running off?
They weren't
melatonin in their water bottles.
They would go every now and then. They'd go to their parents, but then they'd come right back and just sit there and wait for their turn to go in. It was we looked really good for having done nothing. My son scored 3 times.
Wow.
And this is when we get into a little asterisk on my mom win, because my son also does not have a filter. So he would loudly repeat the score every time, and we were scoring a fair amount. So my husband...
Did it end in you suck after everything? Oh my gosh.
My husband was like, dude, stop. We're not supposed to keep score. It's fine. We're just playing. And my son was like, okay. One time, the other team scored on themselves, and my son turned around, and he had had his eyebrows arched all the way up, and he was like, very loudly, I don't think they were supposed to do that. And then he was like, then his face kind of changed. I could tell he was thinking, like, does that mean we get a point? Do they get that point? It was, so, Mom win. Great showing on Saturday for the team and my son. A little need to work on my son's filter.
Yeah. I would like to interject there with a little side note about competitiveness in this in-law family.
So bad.
I think it's the first time I met Jesse. Very close.
Yes.
Will and I drove down to North Carolina where she was living at the time, and we went bowling, and I'm pretty sure she cried when she lost at the end, and I whispered to Will in the back seat, like, is this normal? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, bowling?
Yeah, we don't handle it well.
Was that like pre-kids too?
Oh, yeah.
For everybody?
That was in college, yeah.
Yeah.
They had moved to Charlotte.
I was just living in
Jesse.
Charlotte. It was my first year. Like, out of school.
That's
out
hilarious.
of college.
And I was flabbergasted.
Okay, it doesn't help, though, because Willie likes to correct me in everything I do, and that gets me more frustrated.
And Bobby was winning. Or Willie was winning, so they were both beating her. It really just didn't work out.
It just,
well.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I hate bowling.
And losing in general.
I just avoid my triggers, and bowling is one of them.
And Willie.
And Willie. Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry. Go Sam.
I would say my win, I have a win, I feel like, over spring break, because if you know my firstborn, he is very sensitive, I would say. Like, if there's something that he can't do or, like, he's afraid to do, he, like, shuts down pretty quickly with it. So it was actually the day that I had to take my first, because he was having hives randomly, to the doctor. So we hit up one of the playgrounds that was right next to it. And I think you've been there, because it's the one with the big barn that has that big slide.
Yes.
So the last time he was there, he got stuck on the second level of that.
Oh my gosh, that happened to my son.
He was so afraid to go all the way up it.
Yeah.
And I was either pregnant with my third or my second born, and she was super little.
Right.
So I was like, I can't go up there and get you. You just need to figure out how to come back down. And it was a busy.
I feel like we talked about you possibly getting stuck just trying to get.
It's
or it was
big.
like I mean, I don't even know how tall that is. Like 40 feet or something. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's huge, and I don't understand how that's like allowed on the playground. But anyways, we were there. We got there. My daughter, I'll just say she's my daughter because that's easiest instead of my second born, but she went right up it, right? Fearless. Yeah. Walked right up it, went all the way up there, and then she was calling for my son to come up there, and he was like, no, I'm too scared, I can't do it, it's too tall. And then so I was like, all right, sis, just come down the slide. I was like, she's like, but I want to wait for him. I was like, he ain't coming up right now. And I was like, I'm not forcing him. So she goes down, and then he was really upset about not being able to do it. And then I was like, why don't you just go behind him up the whole way? And I was like, how about that? She can go in front of you, and you can watch how she's doing it. And he was like, okay. And then there he goes, and he went all the way up.
Yay!
And then he comes down the slide, and he was, like, so proud of himself. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, that was, like, such just, like, a mom moment. Where I was just, like, so proud that he was so proud of himself.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good for him.
And then he did it 35 more times. So.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Get these hesitant children. I want one. Mine are all ridiculous.
No, yeah, that was. I was like super proud of him for that. So.
Yay.
Yeah, that's my mom win for the week.
I like to focus on the fails because it's real life. However, this is a fail, but it's not my fail. It is a win for me because my husband was at home with my kids.
Oh gosh.
And this happened. A few weeks ago, my niece stayed over at my house. And, 3 of my nieces, by the way, so I had 6 kids. Which, they're big enough that it's easier now. It's fine.
That's true.
I think it's fine because they entertain each other, right? It's just managing chaos.
Yeah.
So anyway, she had a runny nose. So therefore, lo and behold, she also had diarrhea. It was just right, but she is kind of a mute when she wants to be. She doesn't respond. She doesn't talk. She doesn't communicate. Well, she had taken herself to the bathroom. Long story short, I didn't know where she was. The big kids didn't tell me where she was. So I was calling, and she showed up in front of me. But I don't know if she got up because she was nervous that I couldn't find her and came to me like she knew she was supposed to, but she got off the toilet or she didn't make it to the toilet in time. So it was a whole heck of a mess.
Oh.
So now that is in our house referred to as her name. Apparently, because Will texted me the other day and he said that your daughter niece's name all over the house.
Oh, no.
Like, what? God. All I could send was laughing faces because I'm not there, not my problem. and as I was typing which kid it was or whatever I was in that regard saying, he was like, and it was not the one you think it was.
Oh, no.
And I thought it was just so comical because he was so teed off, and I'm like, story of my life. And when my niece was there, it must have been 2 or 3 times that I had to clean it up, and you were not involved at all. So
yeah,
mom win that I was not there in that moment.
Yeah. It's not something that you technically had to deal with.
It was a dad fail. Mom win.
Dad fail. Oh. You list those.
Real life. Oh, it was comical. I needed a chuckle at his expense.
That is expensive.
Apparently.
Oh, that's good. All right.
It's like she Devlined all over the house with
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Yes. Just go with it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That I love that movie with the girl with her little accent.
And you know what's
Can
worse?
I have an accent? No.
It's worse as they get older too, because like I do not want anything to do with any big kid potty things if I can help it, because you know it's normal as a baby, and as they get older it gets grosser, and so
Well, you heard about me having to go get my oldest, right? At school.
Oh no.
Was that towards the beginning?
Was that when we went on
recently?
our trip and he wasn't feeling well too? Like
that
he was struggling with it?
Yeah. Well, that's the only
that
time
was
I know
the
about.
start of it.
Okay.
Yes. And I got a call from school and they were like, you need to come get him. He's having diarrhea. And
I did
you know how
hear
the
this.
school
Wasn't
like
he,
normally
in there
doesn't
crying?
Yeah, you know how the school like doesn't let you back in the classroom?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had gotten there and they were like, hey, can you send so and so up? And all I hear is his teacher in the background was like, no, she needs to come back here. So I had to go all the way back in there.
Child.
But it's just because he was fine. He just was so upset that it was happening.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand why it was happening.
Right.
So it's not like he like made it to the toilet or whatever.
Yeah.
He just was so upset that it was happening. And I think he was afraid to get off the toilet. Because he was afraid it was going to keep happening.
That was the same spiel. We had just gotten back from Christmas family vacation, and in the middle of the night I had found him in the bathroom sobbing, the poor child.
Yes. Because we had a rough month with him when that, for some reason, I don't know what
and he,
virus
like
that was, or
but he's sensitive, so he just
he's just sensitive, so he just doesn't.
Oh, that is hard, especially when it's like.
But he's like, why is it happening to me? And I'm like, I don't have an answer for you.
At that age, though, you just want to spray him off with a hose. You want nothing to do with it. You don't want to, like, it's just grosser.
Right.
Yes.
You're just like,
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but.
Oh.
Like, thank God I'm so close to the school. Because you've been sitting there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It literally takes me 2 minutes to drive there.
Disclaimer on this episode.
Yeah. Trigger
nausea.
If you're triggered by children potty stories.
This may not be the podcast
we are too.
Yeah, exactly. We have 10 kids between us.
Yeah.
It's going to get rough. All right. Well, let's get into our story. We are going to talk about Anne Maria Reeves Jarvis today. I'd ask you if you knew who she was, but I'm going to guess you don't.
No.
I didn't want to do any research.
Yeah. I feel bad putting you guys on the spot sometimes, because when you guys do stories, I'm not going to know anyone's name. I'm terrible with names. So. But
that part.
Yeah. Let's give this mom her moment. So Anne was born September 30th, 1832. We're going back in time. And she was the mother to at least 11 children.
11?
Yes, we'll get into it. She was born in Culpeper, Virginia, but the family moved to what would become West Virginia when she was younger. Her father was a Methodist minister, and he was transferred to a church in that area. In 1850, she married Granville Jarvis, who was the son of a Baptist minister, And they became a successful merchant family in Taylor County. They actually moved to Webster, and that's kind of where they get established. So we're in the mid-1800s. It's not great. And we're in Appalachia. So not great for anybody.
There's a lot of books on that.
Yeah. They experienced a lot of tragedy and loss. So like I said, she had at least 11 children. It's estimated between 11 and 13 over the course of 17 years, but only 4 of those kids actually survived to adulthood. They had measles, they had typhoid fever, they had diphtheria, they had all these epidemics. And I mean, just to bear 11 to 13 children is already crazy, and to live through all those at that time.
At that time, yeah.
You know, just like suffering physically, I can only imagine, suffering like mentally and emotionally from all the children you have lost. She chose to turn that pain and took action to help her community combat childhood diseases and unsanitary conditions. She turned her losses into an amazing positive thing. In 1858, while she was pregnant with her 6th child, at this point, I actually don't know how many children were alive, if any had been alive at this point, but she was pregnant in 1858 with her 6th. She began her Mother's Day work clubs in a couple towns in Western Virginia. And these clubs sought to provide assistance and education to families in order to reduce disease and infant mortality. So they raised money to buy medicine. They would have women work in families where the mother was suffering from disease or other health problems to like help those infants and babies keep surviving while their mother was recovering. They also developed programs where they would inspect food and milk long before there were state requirements. So they were doing all these things to make life better for women and children in the area. They would visit households to educate everybody about improving sanitation and overall health. They greatly benefited from the advice of Anne's brother, James, who was a physician who specifically worked in northwestern Virginia during the typhoid fever epidemics. So we are heading into the Civil War, and they are in Western Virginia. So there was a lot of divide between the North and the South, like just within that area. And of course, this accumulated when in the middle of the war in 1863, West Virginia forms and breaks away from Virginia. So West Virginia is loyal to the Union. Virginia is loyal to the Confederate. And because of this conflict, some of the first conflicts of the Civil War occur in Western Virginia. Now, Jarvis's Mother's Day work clubs altered their mission to meet the changing demands brought on by this war. And Anne urged the clubs to declare neutrality and to provide aid to both soldiers. And I thought that was very forward-thinking of her. The Civil War was one of the first wars where they had a draft, and you could be exempt from the draft if you paid a certain money, or in the South, if you owned a certain amount of people. So the people who were fighting had nothing, no dog in the fight to say. They were probably young, poor farmers.
Yeah.
I mean, they got young kids in there. So for her to be like, guys, we got to help everybody, I think was really great of her. She is quoted as saying, "To make a sworn to agreement between members that friendship and goodwill should obtain in the clubs for the duration and aftermath of the war, that all efforts to divide the churches and lodges should not only be frowned upon but prevented. We are composed of both the blue and the gray." She continued to illustrate her resolve to remain neutral and aid both sides by refusing to support a proposed division of the Methodist Church into a northern and southern branch. She reportedly also offered a lone prayer for Thornsbury Bailey Brown, who was the first Union soldier killed by a Confederate in the area when others refused. Under her guidance, the clubs fed and clothed soldiers from both sides who were stationed in the area. And of course, in those military camps, disease was just running rampant, and they helped both sides. After the Civil War ended, there was still a lot of fighting just within the state, and public officials were seeking ways to eliminate post-war strife, and they actually asked her for help. She and her club members planned a Mother's Friendship Day for soldiers from both sides and their families at the Taylor County Courthouse to help the healing process. And there were threats of violence because people are rude and messed up, but the event was successfully staged in 1868. She shared with the veterans a message of unity and reconciliation. The bands played Dixie and the Star Spangled Banner, and the event ended with everyone north and south singing together. It brought a lot of people to tears, and it showed the community that old animosities were destructive and must end. Near the end of the Civil War, the Jarvis family had actually moved to Grafton in order to aid in their business ventures. They were innkeepers and owned a bunch of land. But she continued her social activism work. In addition to that, she also was very devoted to her faith. She taught Sunday school, and she was involved in the Andrews Methodist Church construction and taught Sunday school there. She served as the superintendent of the primary Sunday school department at the church for 25 years. She was also a popular speaker, and she would lecture on subjects ranging from religion, public health, and literature. Some of her lectures included literature as a source of culture and refinement, great mothers of the Bible, which I was like, I wonder if I could get my hand on that lecture, because I could use some of those mothers for this podcast. Great value of hygiene for women and children, and the importance of supervised recreational centers for boys and girls. Which made me think for a second that she founded Boys and Girls Club, but she did not. It was founded a couple of years before this, but...
I'm tired just listening to that story. That's awesome.
During this whole time, she's still having kids and raising kids.
Lots of them.
Crazy.
Yes.
And everything is 30 times harder than it is, at least 30 times harder than it is today, so...
Yeah.
I know, I think, she was born in, 1830. What if she was born in, the late 1900s? Would she have gone doctor? What she would have done without the restraints of not only the area, but, of being a woman. What she could have done is... what she did is bonkers, but... So, throughout her life, Anne really wanted to honor and help mothers. That's what kept her going. Her daughter Anna recalled her praying for someone to start a day to honor mothers during a Sunday school lesson in 1876. I hope and pray that someone, sometime, will found a Memorial Mother's Day commemorating her for the matchless service she renders to humanity in every field of life. She is entitled to it. She's entitled to it. Just needs to be on... billboards. I'm thinking this should be on sticky notes, so when Amazon box comes,
my
husband questions,
just slap it on there.
So with that prayer, spoiler alert, this is a little bit of a two-parter. This is going to inspire Mother's Day. So Anne remained in Grafton until her husband passed away in 1902. After that, she moved to Philadelphia to live near her sons and two daughters. Anna becomes her primary caregiver, but she does pass away on May 8th in 1905, surrounded by her 4 surviving children. And she is buried in Philadelphia. So Anne Jarvis, what a mom.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. She had so much drive, I would say. In a time where, you almost, didn't you couldn't do anything.
Right. I thought it was interesting that, the public officials, looked to her.
Right.
Usually, I don't know, I don't, back in that time, even nowadays, it's how do we do this? And to look towards a woman, especially,
Yeah. And have the support system at home.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she wasn't doing that because everybody at home didn't support her.
Right.
She wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me think about, what her husband was like.
Yep. That's...
Yeah.
Because, the common thread back then is that you had one job and one job only, and that was the home. And I'm sure there's more stories out there similar to this, but it takes a guy who was thinking before his time, respected women as their own human.
Yeah. Well, that is our story for this week. Again, a little teaser. Next week, this is a two-parter. We're getting into actual Mother's Day. So that is coming up. I guess I'm excited.
You have me on edge. I love Mother's Day.
We love Mother's Day. But yeah, thank you for listening. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Momsbeingmomspodcast. We'll have story pics and our sources. We have a website. We have a Gmail, momsbeingmomspodcast@gmail.com. Please sure to follow, subscribe, like, rate. Please share with your moms if you like what you're hearing. Please share. And I think that is it. Did all the things. All right. Mom's out.